Okay, welcome back to our discussion. I want us to start looking at user authorization. So this is what the user can and cannot do based on their authentication. Okay, so what we want to do is to disable the options that are available for the users. So if you look at the show page, okay, what I did, I ended up wrapping each of the uh, URLs in these conditionals. So as you will see, I created a variable, a template data variable called isAuthenticated. And so every time this page is parsed and is executed, is rendered, uh, Go will look and see if the authenticated variable is true. And if it is true, then it will display the create option. Furthermore, it will check again. It will check, and if it's authenticated, it will display the logout option. Now, if authentication is false, meaning that the user has not signed in, then we will only see home, right? We will not see the create, we will not see the logout. However, we will see sign up and login. Okay, and I went ahead and I did that for every page. Okay, the same thing. All right, I wrap the create, I wrap the logout, and the sign up login. Okay, so I did that for all the pages. So again, is authenticated is a field in our template data struct. So let me go to my template.go. Okay, and so I am going to add that variable is authenticated, and it will be of type bool. Okay, so whenever I give the template data, I will need to pass in this field. Okay, so it makes sense that we create a function that we'll be able to call to check to see if the user is authenticated. And so I'm just going to say func app application, and I'm going to call my method is authenticated. Oops, small I is authenticated, and it will simply take the request object, right? Because that's what is needed, and it will return a bool, true or false. Right? So if it's true, it means the user has authenticated. If it's false, it means the user has not. In other words, true means the user has logged in, false means the user has not logged in. And we'll simply return app.session.exist r and the key authenticated user ID. If you recall from the last lesson, this is the key that we inserted into our session storage, into our cookie. Okay, so we will check to see if this key is in our session store, and if it is, then it will return true. If it's not, it will return false. Okay, so all we have to do now is call this method every time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to go to my handlers. Okay, now I went ahead and I wrote in all the code for the handlers because it was quite a bit, and it's not very complex. So all I did, okay, so for every handler where I need to render the page, a form, or whatever, right? So here, data, I'm not only going to send the quotes, I'm also going to send is authenticated, and I'm going to call the function, the method, okay? And whatever it returns, true or false, will be assigned to is authenticated. And that's what I do for every time I need to render a page, a template. So in create quote form, okay, in create quote form, previously I didn't have to put in any data. I just had nil, but that doesn't work anymore because I need to actually decide which of the options should be available when I render the form. And so I have to actually pass in this. Okay, okay, and so I do the same for create form. Every time I render something, right, like here, I will pass in is authenticated. Okay, and I do that for everything else. So every time I render, I pass in this option, okay, this field. Right, and I do that here when I render the sign up form. I do that when I do the sign up here. Okay, and of course I do that here. All right, and one more time here. All right, so that's it. I just add that field. All right, and so it's available every time I want to display a template. Every time I want to display a template, I need to provide this piece of data in addition to any other I need to provide. Okay. Again, we need this because before the page is actually displayed, we have to know which of the um, options to disable. Okay, so right, a very simple concept. And that's it. So let's run this and let's log in. HTTP s:/4000. Okay, so notice I have not logged in. So I see the home. Notice the create quote is disabled. It's not shown. And so the sign up and login is there. Okay, so of course I could sign up, but I already have. So let's just log in. I'm going to log in with J. Lewis, and I'm going to say what's the password? Apple Juice 2022. Okay, so notice when I log in, right, I have home, I have sign up, I have login. Okay, now when I log in, make sure to watch. Right, the one thing I should see now is home and the option to create a quote. I shouldn't see login or sign up anymore. Okay, all right. I have logout. That makes sense. Right? I shouldn't see sign up or login because I have already signed up and I have already logged in. I can create quotes. I can go back home. Okay, and I can log out. When I log out, then I will see the option to sign up or log in again. All right. Okay, so can I actually bypass this and can I do quote / create? Yes, I can. So notice we still have a problem. So I'll stop here in this lesson. We have the beginnings of authorization. So in the next step, what I'm going to do is to simply use some middleware to ensure that we can't do something like this. Okay, So no user should be able to type in the URL and bypass what we're trying to prevent. Right? And so in the next lesson, we're going to prevent this from happening. Right? If they don't see create here, they should not be able to type in create and get the create option. That's not good. So we'll fix that in the next lesson. I'll see you then.